Welcome back, my fans. I hope you're doing well today. We've got a pretty big story to break down, one that touches on immigration, civil rights, and how much power the government should really have over our daily lives. It's the kind of news that makes you pause and ask, where do we draw the line between security and personal freedom? So here's what just happened. On September 8th, the Supreme Court, in a 6-3 ruling, sided with the Trump administration and gave the green light for immigration agents to restart what are called roving patrols in Los Angeles and across Southern California. These are patrols where Border Patrol agents can stop and briefly detain people to question them about their immigration status. And here's the controversial part. They're allowed to make those stops based on what's called the totality of circumstances. That basically means agents can consider things like appearance, the neighborhood you're in, the language you're speaking, and even the type of work you're doing as part of their decision to stop someone. Now, let's pause on that for a second. What do you think about that? If someone is speaking Spanish at a bus stop or working a low-wage job in Los Angeles, should that alone raise suspicion? Or does that cross the line into racial profiling? The Supreme Court made this decision using its emergency docket, often referred to as the shadow docket. That means the case moved really quickly, without the usual hearings or full arguments. Justice Brett Kavanaugh wrote a concurring opinion, basically saying that ethnicity alone can't justify a stop, but it can still be one of the relevant factors agents look at. And that wording has a lot of people concerned. Because when you combine language, appearance, and job type, who do you think is most likely to be targeted? On the other side, the three liberal justices strongly dissented. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, in particular, had some powerful words. She said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that people in this country shouldn't have to live in fear of being seized just because they look Latino, speak Spanish, or work certain kinds of jobs. It's a really stark warning about what this ruling could mean for everyday life in Los Angeles, where nearly half the population identifies as Latino. And local leaders are not holding back either. California Governor Gavin Newsom called the decision a parade of racial terror in Los Angeles. Pretty strong words. Civil rights groups like the ACLU and United Farm Workers, along with dozens of LA area cities, had backed the restraining order that was in place before. They argued that this kind of policy doesn't just affect undocumented immigrants. It puts millions of U.S. citizens and legal residents at risk of being stopped just because of how they look or what language they speak. But even while the restraining order was in place, Border Patrol didn't exactly slow down. On August 28th, they staged a major raid at a Home Depot in the Westlake neighborhood. Agents reportedly used tear gas and pepper pellets, detaining 8 people. And you might remember a viral video from earlier this year, showing agents hiding in a rental truck to snatch up day laborers in a sting operation that people nicknamed Operation Trojan Horse. The head of Border Patrol, Gregory Bovino, actually oversaw those raids and has said he wants to take these tactics nationwide. It's worth noting that a lower federal judge had already ruled that agents were crossing the line, using race, language, and job type as the main reasons for their stops. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals agreed with that ruling. But with the Supreme Court's new decision, those findings are now overshadowed, at least for the time being. This raises a bigger question. If the government says it's about enforcing immigration laws, but the methods end up targeting people based on race or language, where does that leave constitutional rights? Do you think this strengthens national security, or does it open the door to discrimination? Legal scholars are warning that rulings like this leave long-term scars. Kevin Johnson, a law professor at UC Davis, said that racial profiling in immigration enforcement undermines Latino belonging in the national community for generations. And he pointed out that this isn't just about immigration enforcement, it's also about dismantling diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives more broadly. It's part of a much bigger political picture. So, where do we go from here? For communities in Los Angeles, this ruling is going to have immediate effects. People may feel less safe just going to work, speaking their native language, or waiting for a bus. And across the country, other regions could soon see similar tactics. The big takeaway here is that this isn't just a legal ruling, it's about how we define freedom, equality, and justice in America. Should the government have this kind of power in the name of security? Or should individual rights take priority, even if it means limiting immigration enforcement? I'd love to hear what you think about this. Do you see this as a necessary step for stronger borders or as a dangerous erosion of civil liberties? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this is the kind of discussion that affects all of us, whether directly or indirectly. Thanks so much for sticking with me through this breakdown. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. It really helps out the channel. And don't forget to share this with a friend who might want to stay updated on these important issues. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you don't miss future videos. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.